time to get a haul in.
That's right.
I've never used that in a video before, and I just made myself laugh.
That's probably what we're gonna call this thing.
But anyway, obviously, this is going to be a book haul, specifically our December 2020 book haul.
That is right. Stuff that we got in December.
Physically, digitally, from publishers. You know the drill.
Yeah, that's right. All right, here we go.
I am going to kick things off, shockingly, by starting with sort of a digital haul. I'm going to start with some of the digital galleys that I got from different publishers.
Yeah.
The first one is The Intimacy Experiment by Rosie Danan. This is a companion novel to The Roommate, which I read and loved in 2020. This one is about a rabbi and one of the characters in the first book, actually, who is part of the startup that they have in that book, and they have to team up in this one. Both of them need it as a platform in order to further their own careers, but they end up developing an attraction for one another. And this I got thanks to the folks over at Berkeley, and I'm super excited to get to it because I loved The Roommate. The next book is Heart and Soul, and Seoul is literally Seoul, Korea, by Jen Frederick, and this is also thanks to Berkeley. And this one basically is a heart-wrenching yet hopeful romance that shows that the price of belonging is often steeper than expected. As a Korean adoptee, Hara Wilson doesn't need anyone telling her she looks different from her white parents because she knows. And then at the age of 25, she's thought, you know, she's cool with this, the fact that her parents are white and she doesn't look anything like them. But when her father dies, someone makes a comment at her funeral and it triggers an identity crisis that has her running off to Seoul.
Interesting.
So I am interested to see how that plays out.
Yeah.
Also from Berkeley, The Dating Plan by Sarah Desai. Even with a step-by-step plan, these fake fiancés might accidentally fall for each other in this hilarious, heartfelt romantic comedy. Listen, fake dating, great. But the bonus part is, the guy, it's his friend's little sister. So we're in the whole, like, my brother's best friend thing. So, you know, extra trophy.
That's her extra trophy.
I also got approved for an audiobook of The Lives of Saints.
Oh, hey, that's
which is narrated by Ben Barnes and Lauren Fortgang, and I actually have already listened to this one. It basically is a book that is mentioned in the Shadow and Bone, the original trilogy, and it basically tells you the lives of the different saints in the Grishaverse. And if you are a fan of the Grishaverse, it is something that you will definitely want to read. The audiobook is great because, number one, Ben Barnes, but also Lauren Fortgang is great as well. The next book is The Wide Starlight by Nicole L'Esperance, and this is thanks to Penguin. It says, the Hazelwood meets the astonishing color of after in this dreamy atmospheric novel that follows 16-year-old Eli as she tries to remember what truly happened the night her mother disappeared off a frozen fjord in Norway under the northern lights. I also have Winterkeep by Kristen Cashore, which is the new book in the Graceling Realm series. This is also from Penguin.
Oh, we gotta get that.
I'm not going to read the synopsis because I actually haven't read Bitter Blue yet, so I have to read that before I can get to this one.
That's true.
And the last book is also from Berkeley. It's Dial A for Aunties by Jessie Q. Sutanto. What happens when you mix one accidental murder with 2,000 wedding guests and then toss in a possible curse on 3 generations of an immigrant Chinese-Indonesian family? You get 4 meddling Asian aunties coming to the rescue. Does that not sound delightful?
Does that not sound like my family? I just, like generational curses, like aunties that are just like, we're all witches, we're gonna take care of this. Not so much the murder. I'm so excited
for that one. I've been excited since I first heard about it.
I kind of want to read that book all of a sudden. So we're going to sort of like segue into sort of like stuff that sort of lands on my pile and is also from publisher. So we'll round up the publisher like stuff
section,
with this particular piece. So Ready Player 2 by Ernest Cline. I'm going to reserve all judgment until after I've read the trash fire myself.
There is someone I know who just finished it and they actually liked it.
Yeah, exactly.
She and her husband.
There you go. I'm coming into this thing knowing that second books are usually the hardest thing to write.
Yes.
Right.
And you also don't really have expectations for this one either.
Not a lot, in fact, because number one, second books are hard to do. Number two, if the first book particularly leaves very little else to go, then all the more I suspend sort of like disbelief and lower expectations. Ready Player 2 is set in the world of Ready Player 1, which is sort of like a semi-dystopic future where absolutely all of your personal resources, everything is channeled through something called the Oasis, which is sort of like a virtual reality type deal. But the thing is, the creator of the Oasis, which now monopolizes everyone's sort of like resources, currencies, all of that kind of stuff, left Easter eggs in the Oasis saying that if anybody can find or solve the mystery of whatever the Oasis is, and etc., you will effectively inherit full ownership of the Oasis and effectively economic power in the whole world. So for years, teams of people have been sent out to go find these clues, etc., until one guy who was a huge fan of the creator of the Oasis might be a little closer than everybody else to finding the keys. And so it was such a great story. It ended so magnificently well. The movie was a magnificent addition to the lore.
It was so much fun. I really enjoyed the movie.
Right? Whether it's and for me, I'm the kind of person where like the movie enhances the book.
Or sometimes it just adapts it in a way that is more...
Because it adapts it in a certain way that it just enhances sort of like the experience, because you have to sort of make it a little more current. So hence, I don't know where else they're going to go after that, after the events of Ready Player One. So that's why my expectations are low, and that's why I might enjoy it. I want to say that my Magic Knight Rare Earth Volume 2 came in the mail. Woo-hoo. Part 2, Book 1, 2, and 3. And the Part 2 illustration collection, which I think would probably be season 2 of Rare Earth. Rare has like about 2-3 seasons, I want to say.
Yes.
So this is...
Oh, it might be complete then.
Or it might be the complete one. We don't know. It's a 25th anniversary edition. I think it's great. I don't think there's a Part 3. Rare Earth is a story about 3 girls from different schools who just all happen to, on the same day, in a happenstance of fate kind of way, be having their school field trip at the Tokyo Tower. And they randomly just stand in the same spot, which is everything that the Princess of Sephiroth needed to just port them into the magical world of Sephiroth, where they become her magic knights. They go on this quest now to try to save the princess from this evil, you know, like overlord who has held her captive, only to find out that the story may not be exactly as it was told to them. Or anyone else for that matter. And that was the best part. Like, there was a mystery within a mystery within a mystery, and it's just so good. So there's that. Anime lovers, catch it anywhere, any way you can. Because they went on sale, and because these are just absolutely lovely, we ended up finally getting, you know, these installments in the series that we were sort of missing. So we finally have Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard Book 3, The Ship of the Dead. I'm pretty sure it's not for, you know, like when your ships don't sail. I'm pretty sure that's not what this is. But anyway, Magnus Chase is...
If it was, I'd shove Fitz onto it, but you know, that's a part of the story.
Magnus Chase is about Magnus Chase, who discovers that he has some ties to the realm of Asgard, the Norse gods, and ends up finding himself in Asgard of one of the so few ways you can actually get there officially. Yep. And when he does, again, hilarity ensues. This is the 3rd book in that series, written by Rick Riordan. Perfect. Also by Rick Riordan, and also because we're like, it's about time we got these things, I want to say is Book 2, The Dark Prophecy of Trials of Apollo, and Book 3, The Burning Maze. For whatever reason, we didn't have these, and now we do. These are 3 out of 5 that we now have, and the last 2 should be on their way, because guess what? We're reading the series this year.
Yes, if you caught our other video, which I'll link to down below, we're actually tackling that series in the new year, which is pretty exciting.
Right. All right, we're taking a break from that. Those them physical copies that we got. Lex, what do you have?
I acquired the 3 books we were missing in the Stormlight Archive series, which is by Brandon Sanderson. So the first book is The Way of Kings. The second book is Words of Radiance, and the third book, oh no, not third, the 4th book, because we already had the 3rd book, is Rhythm of War, which just came out in 2020. So each of these books is like 1,000+ pages long, so who knows?
And they're beautiful though. Look at these end papers.
So it says, widely acclaimed for his work completing Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time saga, Brandon Sanderson now begins a grand cycle of his own, one every bit as ambitious and immersive. So this is basically the start of this. It's supposed to be 12 books, I want to say. It's also going to be a very long series. And it follows 3 different perspectives. You sort of get to learn about the state of the world. This is actually set in the same universe as the Mistborn series. But I have heard that this is the series that most people really, really love, and I'm excited to tackle it, and yes, it is. The next book I actually got because I signed up or ordered the book so that I could attend an event with this author and Sarah J. Maas. The book is Archangel's Son by Nalini Singh. This is the 13th book in the Guild Hunter series.
Here we go.
It focuses on 2 secondary characters in the series, actually, and their relationship blossoming, as well as dealing with the after effects of all the 12 books that came before it. This was actually my first read of 2021. Great book to start
with. A lot of screaming. Pretty cool.
I got this nonfiction book next because of Kristen, because she really enjoyed it. It's called Save Me the Plums, My Gourmet Memoir by Ruth Reichel. And it is a personal journey of a woman coming to terms with being in charge and making her mark, following a passion and holding on to her dreams, even when she ends up in a place she never expected to be. It also has a heavy food aspect into it. This nonfiction book I got because of my friend Grace. It's called You're Not Listening, What You're Missing and Why It Matters. So it's basically about listening and how sometimes we're not actively listening. It's about that, and also about how people are listening to you. And I'm excited to tackle it because Grace really loves this book, and she's talked about it so much that she got me interested in it, so can't wait to check it out. The last two physical books before I start talking about digital books and then Mackie gets to talk about his digital books are both from Illumicrate. So I actually don't know why this extra book is there. Who knows? Like, they must have sent it for a reason. I have no idea what it was. This is a book called Legendborn, and it says some legacies are meant to be broken. After her mother dies in an accident, 16-year-old Bree Matthews wants to escape. A residential program for bright high schoolers seems like the perfect opportunity until she witnesses a magical attack her very first night on campus. So they try to erase her memory after she sees it, but it fails. And so she's drawn into this world of magic and mystery.
Again.
And it's based on an Arthurian legend.
Oh, hey!
So it sort of sounds, it kind of sounds like it starts off a little bit Shadowhunter-y, because that's sort of how City of Bones starts too. It's like she randomly sees something magical happen in front of her face. But I love that it's a King Arthur-inspired fantasy. So I'm very much looking forward to reading that.
That's great.
And then one more book, which this book I was expecting. Like, this book I knew was coming, and I was really excited about it. I was sad that it didn't come earlier in the year, because it would have been perfect for an October read. It's a book called The Once and Future Witches by Alex E. Harrow. This is the Illumicrate edition, so it's got red sprayed edges. I'm not sure if it has anything else. No, it doesn't. Okay, it says, in 1893, there's no such thing as witches. There used to be, in the wild dark days before the burnings began, but now witching is nothing but tidy charms and nursery rhymes. If the modern woman wants any measure of power, she must find it at the ballot box. But when the Eastwood sisters, James Juniper, Agnes Amaranth, and Beatrice Belladonna, join the suffragists of New Salem, they begin to pursue the forgotten words and ways that might turn the women's movement into the witches' movement. Stalked by shadows and sickness, hunted by forces that will not suffer a witch to vote, and perhaps not even to live, the sisters will need to delve into the oldest magics, draw new alliances, and heal the bond between them if they want to survive.
That's kind of cool.
Sister witches! Suffragists! Come on! Like, that combination sounds epic, and I'm so excited to read this book. I'm gonna actually just seg straight into a digital haul, because for once I actually have that. The first book is actually a book I've read, and I just acquired a Kindle version of it, and it's called The Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart. This is a debut fantasy novel that, well, it's no longer a debut because it's 2021, but it came out last year, and it is a stunning tale of magic, mystery, and revolution in which the former heir to the emperor will fight to reclaim her power and her place on the throne.
Cool.
This one has bone magic in it, which is pretty brutal but pretty cool.
I like bone magic.
There is also a book called The Bard's Blade by Brian D. Anderson, and this is the start of the new Sorcerer's Song fantasy adventure series from Brian D. Anderson. It's about a girl and a guy, they're betrothed. She's a winemaker.
Oh.
And the guy's a musician.
Perfect combination.
So, a stranger crosses the wards into where they live, by Larry is what it says, bringing a dark prophecy that forces them down separate paths. So they were together, they got forced into separate paths because of a prophecy. It says, how far will they have to go to stop a rising darkness and save their home? I also purchased on Kindle In a Holidays by Christina Lauren, which I read in December. This is basically a Groundhog Day sort of scenario where the main character gets to relive the same week over and over again. It happens to be the holiday week that she spends with her family and their family friends. It was really cute. It was a good holiday read. Then we have two novellas that go together. There is The Empress of Salt and Fortune and When the Tiger Came Down the Mountain, both by, I'm gonna butcher this name, Nyi Vo, which you'll probably see on the screen, and I'm so sorry if I butchered it. The first book, The Empress of Salt and Fortune, is a tight and lushly written narrative about empire storytelling and the anger of women. They just sound really good, and I also just really like the titles, which is part of the reason why I downloaded them. Another Christmas book, which I did not get to read, unfortunately, is A Princess for Christmas by Jenny Holiday. Has a very cute cover. There's a princess in the book, and she shouldn't be doing like normal people stuff at Christmas, because you know, she's a princess, right?
She is.
Her mother has died, so her dad's a little depressed, and now the fate of her country is on her shoulders, and so she's kind of got to be the face of her country. And she crosses paths with a cab driver, a little bit brusque, but he ends up being her driver for the rest of her trip to New York. And it just sounds so super cute and charming.
It's one of those journey stories.
Yeah. Second to the last book is The Book of Second Chances by Catherine Slee. This is a charming, uplifting novel about love, loss, and finding your way in the world. Perfect for fans of Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine and The Keeper of Lost Things.
There you go.
And the last digital purchase is The Trouble with Hating You. A fiercely independent engineer walks out on the man her parents have set her up with, only to start working side by side with him at her job. All right, those are all of my digital purchases.
Yeah, in which
I
case
actually had more than I expected.
No, it's pretty cool. Which makes me segue to my digital haul, as is my wont. I finally managed to get Titans Rebirth, 4 to 6, and the Lazarus Contract. I don't even remember how or why I ended up doing that. I just sort of fell into a hole with Titans because I was sort of like saving for maybe it's going to be a good time. But there was a sale, I guess, and that's probably why I just bought absolutely everything else. And so managed to get that. I have read them, and I will share my lots of feelings during the what we read. Detective Comics 5, A Lonely Place of Living. I actually had read this on Kindle Unlimited ages ago, but I just had to have it because
it's just that
reasons. And I've sort of alluded to it in our Best of 2020 / rereads and follow-ups type deal. It's just so great. The primary draw, it involves a lot of the stuff that Jeff Johns threw into the universe of the DCU when he was doing Teen Titans, which is super cool. Buffy and Angel season 11, so that's the Angel franchise and the Buffy franchise season 11, and then of course Buffy season 12. Now this is the continuation of the TV series that they officially made canon in comics. And at that point in time, things have changed insanely. Slayers are all over the place. They're out. Magic is also out and all over the place. Angel has taken residence in London with Faith, although Faith has sort of done her own thing at this point in time. And Buffy has sort of just found some kind of equilibrium living as a regular person while all the other Slayers do the thing. I'll get more feelings. I've read these. But if you want to know how the official canon universe really ended, like, you know, not just on TV, but like officially, this is where we've left things, and then this is it. This is where you find it, because the reboot, now that the franchise is owned by Boom Studios,
sort of resets things
insanely. In which case, for whatever reason, I got Buffy Volume 4.
Oh, you did get it.
I know, I did. It was on sale. It was on sale. Several videos ago, I said I was like close to sort of breaking up with this thing, but like most people in a long-term relationship, they're a little iffy about them. You know, they'll give it one more chance, because Spike and Angel Volume 1 just came out. I don't even know what the hell that's gonna be like. It's so early for all of this stuff, and it's like they're front-loading absolutely everything that happened in the latter part of the series after all of the big reveals, and putting them and making them as like the start. So if you're not building towards these and you're making them springboards, where are you taking us? And I'm telling you, 3 volumes into Buffy, and I'm just like, I don't know if I'm feeling this, so let's give it another whirl.
See what Volume 4 does?
Yep. Alrighty, on to cooler things. Avatar: The Last Airbender, Katara and the Pirate's Silver, set at a time during Book 2 Earth, centering around a time where Katara gets separated from the rest of the Aang gang and has no choice but to prove that maybe she is a badass after all. Super fun. Second to the last, I had to get Boruto on Kindle.
Yes, you did.
Volumes 1 to 9. I have to read all of them, and I did, and it was crazy. I think there was a sale. I don't know anymore. So too. I don't know anymore. Like it must have been. I rarely sort of buy without sales.
You rarely buy full price, I think.
Rarely, because I'm cheap like that. And also I buy in bulk. So it's like, if it's like just the one thing, yeah.
I buy it.
I do, though. I do. It's terrible. Watch me buy all of My Hero Academia and Black Clover.
Oh my gosh,
as the time goes by.
My Hero.
Right, and Boruto is set in the world after Naruto and Naruto Shippuden. We have a world where every big country has like their military power consolidated in how powerful your hidden ninja villages are. This is a peacetime story that is slowly wrapping up to be a wartime kind of thing, and has a family at the center of it. Highly recommend if you liked Naruto. Finally, the 10 legacy. Notice the clenched way I say legacy, like it's a dirty word. Legacy Universe X-Wing books do come in a bundle, and for reasons and personal research, because I am writing space things these days, I had to review one of my favorite space things, which is the X-Wing series. So starting off with obviously Rogue Squadron, ending all the way to Mercy Kill. I think it's Mercy Kill. Anyway, the point is, it's all. We're not gonna flash everything, but it is the 10-book Rogue Squadron series, where you've got Wedge Antilles, the only survivor of both Death Star runs. Not the only survivor, but the only prominent survivor of both Death Star runs that has remained with Rogue Squadron. That's the full sentence description, and is tasked to create Rogue Squadron, a new squad, in order for them to wield it as the weapon to pierce the heart of the empire that remains lodged at the center of the galaxy, which is Coruscant. So that's always fun. Patty Jenkins' new Rogue Squadron movie is going to come out someday, and I am so excited. If she drew anything at all from these Legends books, I would be so happy.
Okay, back to me.
Back to you.
We're going to talk about books that I got from other people, actually.
Sweet.
And then round it off with some special things. So first is a book that Rachel from Hello Charlie gifted to me after she read it. It is Song of Blood and Stone by Elle Penelope. This is the first book in the Earth Singer Chronicles. And the one-line description on the back says, it is a treacherous, thrilling, epic fantasy about an outcast drawn into a war between two powerful rulers. I also really want to read this one because the magic in it is something called Earth Song, which makes it sound very elemental, and I am a sucker for elemental magic stories. Cool. The next two books were gifts from Kristen for Christmas. I'm going to save the one that she's the one who recommended for later. The first book is something that I have wanted to read for a while, and that is From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is a sexy, addictive, and unexpected fantasy perfect for fans of Sarah J. Maas and Laura Thalassa.
Which she is.
It is about a young woman named Poppy. She is chosen to be the maiden, which makes her very special. Like, she can't be touched, she can't really interact with other people, they can't look at her, they can't speak to her, except for the, you know, approved people list, basically.
Right.
And everyone is just waiting for the day of her ascension. Poppy feels a lot of pressure because the kingdom's entire future is on her shoulders, and she doesn't necessarily want that for herself. And so when this guard sort of challenges her own desires and feelings, she kind of throws everything into question for her, and I am just here for this dynamic already, so can't wait. This is a book that Kristen has been wanting me to read since it came out, which was like 2017, I want to say. 2017, is it? Yeah. Oh, first edition was 2016, so even longer than that. And it's a book called This Is Our Story by Ashley Elston. This is a mystery book, and it is basically a young woman. She works at the police department, and she looks into an incident involving 5 boys who went hunting. 4 came back, and someone must have fired a shot who killed the friend who didn't come back.
Oh no.
And evidence basically
points to
it could be any of them. So she's trying to unravel that mystery.
And
so
don't
I know,
you love a murder mystery?
Yeah, and Kristen loves this book. Like, she genuinely loves this book. So I'm excited to actually have it and then be able to read it.
All right.
The last book was a gift from DJ from This Life in Fiction. He and I share a mutual love of mermaids.
Yes.
So he gifted me a book that's called The Mermaid Atlas, Merfolk of the World. It's put together by Anna Claiborne and Maren Asian Laura. Beautiful cover right there. But the cool thing about it is it shows you all sorts of like things about mermaids, so mermaid magic, the different kinds of mermaids.
Cool.
Like, I'm really excited because, you know, mermaids.
I actually want to read it.
Yeah, I think it'll be great. So excited about that. So manga first. I recently got to go to Kino for the first time in like months. And while I was there, I picked up the 7th volume of the Full Metal Alchemist manga, this is the Full Metal edition, so the pretty new special ones. The reason I had to pick it up was because of the character who is in the front. That's all I'm going to say about that. Full Metal Alchemist was an anime that super surprised me.
And me.
And also Maki. It surprised Maki how much I ended up liking it, because it's not normally my thing.
Yeah.
It's about 2 brothers. They're both alchemists, and they are trying to find a way to get the Philosopher's Stone so that they can give one of the brothers his body back and the other one some of his limbs back, because
they lost both in an attempt to raise their mother back from the freaking dead.
Yeah, and it is about so much more than that, because there are other things going on in their country.
The lore is so tight. The political intrigue is so well done. It's so many things happening all at the same time that it's just so... It's almost hard to... Like, every subpar explanation just takes away from the gloriousness of it, so...
Definitely recommend that anime if you haven't watched it yet. We also got 4 volumes of Yona of the Dawn, which means we're officially caught up on the published volumes. Yes. We have volume 24... Volume 25, volume 26 with me raising my eyebrows at this cover, and volume 27, which has one of my favorite covers. Yona of the Dawn is also another anime that surprised both me and Maki when we first watched it.
Because we just never expected to love it that much.
Yona of the Dawn is about a young girl named Yona. She's a princess, the only heir of her father. At the very beginning, there is a betrayal from someone that it results in her dad's assassination, and Yona being forced to flee the palace in the company of her bodyguard / her childhood friend Hack. The story basically follows Yona as she sort of has her eyes open to like what it actually means for her to want to be the ruler of the kingdom again, and also a bid to reclaim the throne that is rightfully hers. By
finding the 4 legendary dragons that put her family on the throne in the first place. Yep. And so
it's so good. It's an unfinished series, but it's so good.
Fortunately, it's still ongoing, so
Yeah.
that's always
And luckily it comes out regularly too, so
Oh, thank
that's
goodness.
nice. The last thing I get to show you is actually this set of tiny mini Throne of Glass books that I finally caved and bought because y'all know I'm Sarah J Maas garbage. They're actually full editions of all 8 books, but each book has a specific character that the book is a highlight for, and each of them has the character name in color. So there are different chosen colors, and they basically have the character's name appearing in color. Yeah, it says on the back what the colors are.
If I could find many book series of the series that I love, that are full edition, like you read the whole thing, I would do that too. All right, so to end this haul, we're gonna talk about this particular this particular artifact that we got in the mail, I assume.
I ordered that.
By our own bidding. And why wouldn't we order the Last Hours 2021 calendar?
This is just on brand.
This 18th century Shadowhunters Thirst Trap is basically a collection of 12 Shadowhunters, that's right, per month in the year 2021. The entire cast, Chain of Gold, and then some. The
fun part about the calendar is that it not only gives you the dates and the illustration, there's actually like list of like notes of important dates. So like on Anna's page, for instance, on October 2nd, it says carriage ride in the park with name redacted.
October 6th, meeting with name redacted at her salon, ordered new frock coat. And it's just this gorgeous kind of thing.
October 18th, tea and gossip with Lucy and Cordelia.
And it's obviously events from that have transpired in the book and then some. So yeah, we're not using this calendar the way normal calendars are used, but it's a reference. It is purposes. It is our the purposes are ours. Alrighty then.
That wraps up our first haul video that's going up in 2021.
That's right.
We got a lot of exciting books, but we also just have so many things to read.
That is true. That is true.
Which is either a fortunate thing or an unfortunate thing, depending on which perspective we're looking at it from.
Well, either way, we're going to burn through them in 2021 and see how that goes.
We're still hoping.
Right, so you got any stuff that you want to say about the stuff that we got? Holler at us in the comments. It's going to be pretty cool. We would like to know what you guys got over the break
or over the holidays.
Maybe,
if you got anything for the holidays.
Or if you guys got the exact same thing. That happens sometimes.
That's true.
Or if you're thinking, I want to go grab that. Or if you have any recommendations, as usual, we're open to that. We've received some of the really fun recommendations from folks in the comments anyway, so there is that.
And we hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you guys with another video next week. Bye!